Good going on, guys. You know what it is. It's your boys over here at No Duh Vapes. It's Will. It's Mason. Ian's off today. Today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite tanks to come out of 2018 so far. Tell them what it is.
We got Horizon Tech's Falcon here with us today, boys. And with this tank today, we're going to be reviewing it, showing you everything that comes in the packaging, and give you our thoughts on it.
So what do you like about it?
So far, just out of the box, I mean, hell, I got 2 weeks out of the first coil. That's the mesh one. It's the M1. I just switched over to the F1 2 days ago, and I haven't really had a lot of thoughts on it yet, but flavor production is pretty similar, and vapor production as well. I use it around 80 watts.
How do you find that it stands up against the mesh?
It's pretty close. I mean, for people who like a old-fashioned style coil hit, they're gonna like this one better. But people who are looking for a more flavor punch, they'll probably like the mesh coil.
Mesh, yeah. Now that mesh too, we'll take you up close and show you how that works. Basically, looks like that window mesh, that bug screen on the inside of your coil. That surface area gets you a lot more flavor, but surprisingly a lot of cloud for such a teeny tiny little tank.
Yep. And with all that stuff too, with the displacement of the heat too, that's what keeps the coil life so long. Since you're not burning up one specific spot, it does make a long-lasting coil.
I will be straight with you. I've been using the same mesh coil since I got this tank about 2.5 weeks ago. Doesn't taste burnt or anything, and I've been putting this thing through its paces. Right now I'm running it at 85 watts, but they say that this puppy goes up to 105. Right?
Yep. 105? Or right at 100.
Yeah, and I've taken it to 100, right up to 105. I've been running it on multiple devices. Currently, I have it on a Vupu A1. Sits right at home on that, but I was also running it on an Alien, and believe it or not, on my Aegis as well.
Yep.
Kicks butt on every single one of those devices.
Yeah, I haven't found any of my devices either. It doesn't run good on. I personally am running on the Snow Wolf right now from Sigelli, but yeah, there's really not too much you can complain about it. Hell, I even left it in the car for like overnight just to see if it leaked one night. Didn't even do it. So.
Yeah. Now I will say too, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not going to want to run this on your hybrid top cap devices.
Yeah, I'm not going to want to. It's got a floating pin in the bottom of it, so it's a little protruding, but it is floating, so it could be unsafe.
So, let's take it up close. You ready?
Yep. Alright people, so what's in the packaging? As you pop it open, you get a nice little stand for your tank. So you can set other devices on top of it. We'll just leave that guy right there for now. Inside, you get an extra coil. The extra coil it does come with, uninstalled from the packaging, is the F1, which is the wood pulp coil. And then you also get some other little things down in here. Replacement glass and extra O-rings. And also a replacement tip. You get an extra 510 drip tip in black. And then in the silver one, it comes with blue replacement O-rings and also a replacement top piece for the cap. This is the F1. It is known as a parallel coil, so it's two wires that are spun together in parallel mode. The wattage recommended on it is around 80 watts. It does recommend to let it sit for about 8 minutes when you install it to let it juice properly. One thing I noticed really well about the wood pulp is that it does wick very fast, so you can take multiple rips on it without it burning up. Most coils nowadays can't really do that. You do have to let them sit, especially if they are a super sub-ohm tank. And let me show you guys the mesh. And then inside of here is all that wire mesh. And as you can see, it stretches from almost the top of the coil to the bottom of it, and there's only a little section in there where it's not touching the cotton, and that's just where the leads are for it. And with that, every single part of the cotton is being vaporized off of the juice, so that's what generates all the great flavor. It also keeps the coil life well because it displaces the heat over the coil very nicely. And then with the tank too, how it disassembles, you just screw your coil back into there. And it's literally only about a half turn on the top to get to the top fill section. And it's got really big juice holes on the top, so you can pour lots of juice into it and use any type of dripper or Gorilla bottle with it. And what's crazy to think about too is that this guy uses a old school 510 style drip tip. Most drip tips on the market nowadays with tanks you see is an 810, and with those ones they're trying to give you a bigger vapor production with it. With this style, what it's doing is it's creating a U shape with the drip tip, so it's densing, or it's making a dense vapor in the chamber below it to give it better flavor. And then as you pull harder on it, you can also get more vapor production with the wider bore tip on the top. You get a nice like acrylic one that's color matched with the first O-ring, and then like I said, you can also use the black one if you want to. But yeah, that's just about everything it comes with in the packaging.
Guys, here's what the black drip tip looks like. It's kind of a cool black marble.
And you got the blue, which also has a little bit of red and some yellow in there. Kind of looks like the earth. I've seen some of them that have more tints of like green and yellow in it. All just depends on like the resin that's used. And so with this pin style right here, as you can tell, it is a floating pin, and I'll show you the difference between the two. With a floating pin, you can actually just use a flat head and ply it right out of the bottom. So it's not held into place by any given item. Whereas like most RDAs and rebuildable tanks and stuff like that, you can see this one is screwed into it. That means it is a true protruding 510 at the bottom. And with that, it is safe to use on a hybrid mechanical device, just because the pin isn't gonna actually fluctuate within the chamber. So it makes a direct contact and there's no mess ups with it. But for, like I said, this is honestly probably gonna be my tank of the year that I pick, that knocks all the other ones out. Just because Horizon Tech, they were some of the very first tanks to ever come out with a super sub-ohm one. I don't know if anyone remembers the Arctic tanks, but those were still, like, I still see people use them to this day, and they're almost like 4 years old.
And we're back from our up close and personal time with the Falcon. Mason, my man, what are your pros and cons of this device?
Man, really I don't have any cons. Like, the only one I would say is a little con is I've seen 2 coils so far from like other people that have been duds. It's just a minor thing, but from what I can tell from Horizon Tech, their machining's really well, so I'm sure it was just like a very, very small amount that are like that. Other than that though, it's my all-day tank. I run a lot of different stuff, and I primarily don't run tanks, but this is one I've been running absolutely every single day for the last 2 weeks since I've had it. So
my pros and cons, I will say, I love this tank. Like I was saying earlier on in the video, it's probably one of my top tanks of 2018, and we are going to be having a video like that, our top 10 list of 2018 so far, closer to the midway point of the year. So check that out come June. But I love this. Really, my only complaint is that the mesh coil seems to eat through juice, but that's really just a function of that surface area.
yeah.
It's the cost you pay for good flavor. You know, you got a dripper, you're gonna go through juice crazy with a dripper too. Am I right or am I right? I feel like I'm right.
Yeah.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to drop a like. If you liked it. If you didn't like it,
It doesn't matter. If you watched it, all that matters is if you get off of cigarettes, man.
yeah,
So
get off those cigarettes. Make sure to follow us on social media. You'll see our Instagram page in the bio below. My Twitter, my Instagram as well, and my Twitch. You'll find Ian's Instagram down there too. And guys, stay off the cigarettes. Ian, you're not Ian.
I'm Mason. But
You are Mason. And what are we vaping on today before we vape us out?
well, today I've got an awesome flavor that I use every day. It's the Fuji Apple Strawberry Nectarine from Pachamama, and I honestly, that's one of the cleanest flavors that I vape on. So
I'm vaping on Cocoa from VGod. It's like a light cigar tobacco flavor from them. Really love it. Haven't been able to get enough. That's the other thing about this tank. I've run a ton of juices through it. This coil rebounds pretty well.
yep.
Let's vape us out, man.
All right.
This is no.
Duh.
Duh. Yeah.